Hey, this is lesson 4 of Original Oratory. I'm only coming on here to do this video to say that this day I actually work one-on-one with the kids, so it's not a situation where you can watch this video necessarily and then follow along and have the kids do something. So what I do is each kid who's working on Original Oratory reads me their stories. These stories are short at this point, right? And then I'm going to talk to them about, okay, well, what's the bigger picture here? What's this really about? So this is like, if you think of first, second, and third level questions, a first level question is something that you can point to directly in the text and say, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. What kind of time was it? And you can point to it and say it was the best of times and worst of times. A second level question is something that you can infer from the script. So the best of times, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. What can you infer from that? Well, for some people, things were going really well, and for some people, things were not going really well. That's just a guess based on the opening line of that story of A Tale of Two Cities. And so that's my guess. I'm inferring it, right? I'm guessing. Yeah. And then you get to a third level question is, which is something that you could talk about even if you don't read the story, but it is a theme of the story. So you could talk about in that situation, like disparities of equality and things like that. So I want to help kids get to, and this is stuff that I will cover in person, right? I want to help the kids get to what are the third level questions from this story. So in my case, where I was talking about the example of my brother and I jumping from bed to bed and he jumps on a nail. The moral of that story, or not the moral of that story, the theme of that story, one of the like big picture ideas of that story might be it might be the need to grow up and move on from childish things, or it might be the opposite of that and the need to hold on to that, and why am I not still jumping on a bed occasionally, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to help the kids do. What's the big picture? And then we'll move on from there.